Hello and welcome to the Foundry Roundtable, the podcast exclusively covering the Foundry for Star Trek Online. Except, of course, when there is no Foundry for Star Trek Online. We're still in downtime, unfortunately. We do have some news along that direction. The core team found a server-side issue with Foundry, and that's why it's been down. Obviously, the being able to identify the issue is a good thing, and hopefully we'll be able to make progress in getting it fixed.
Yeah. Basically, the way Kale phrased it is that it should be back up soon, but no promises, because as with everything in development, stuff can come up, things get pushed back a little bit. So no promises that it'll be up this week, but it's a possibility.
Yeah. In the meantime, I'm sure we've all been finding ways to pass the downtime. I've been getting into Fallout 4, which was up for cheap on a Steam sale, and it's quite a fun game. I know Dragoon has been playing that as well.
I've been also getting into Fallout 4, which I picked up cheap on Steam.
I know you're about to chime in there, Duncan. I know you have been actually doing some non-Foundry fiction writing.
Yeah, original sci-fi. So starting out with my sort of... I've tried this before a few times, but not this seriously, to actually thinking like, you know what, I want to build a story like I did for the Foundry in completion. Because I've made a few starts at this, but it's a original sci-fi story, original sci-fi universe, and really just kind of going on something I can keep writing short stories about, because I haven't been able to do that for Star Trek Online for a little while. So yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm finding a really sort of nice balance of styles between sort of a classic Isaac Asimov sci-fi in Star Trek. So, and then with a tone that is perfectly appropriate to my style of writing. So I've been having a lot of fun with that, and the results so far have been periodically publishing up on my Twitter account.
Now, just, I'm sure you're aware of this, but make sure that you're not adapting a Foundry mission, because, of course, Cryptic owns those.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, oh, yeah. That was the...
Even though you wrote them, Cryptic owns them.
Yeah, so I've been, all names, characters, stuff like that, that's been completely out the window. So that is definite... yeah, definitely was aware of when I first started out, because I did take it seriously.
I'm sure as much as the Legion of Myth guys would love to read a story about Jagoro.
Oh, I've written short stories.
As far as if you were trying to publish this anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I've done plenty of Jagoro short stories, so they could read them. But actually, Kale read one on 10 Forward Weekly. That was when I decided that the stream audience there maybe wasn't the best place. It was a really nice psychological story about Jagoro having a kind of a freak out moment during the Kobayashi Maru. She kind of saw it coming and had a breakdown of like, I don't want to do this, because she couldn't confront death at that point. And yeah, that was the thing. But some people added extra emphasis in some of the words, and it got a little unintentionally, I don't know what the best word to put it. It got a little weird with some the way people were taking it.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that audience, yeah, I can see how that would happen.
Yeah, and Kale liked it, so I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I kind of want to do it because, cryptic people generally like how I write, and it's like, some of the people liked it, and then it's like, but at the same time, it's hard when you're in that sort of public audience setting where everything is basically going for a reaction. So it is more difficult to put a story out like that rather than just putting it up in some other format for people who actually want to get that type of thing to actually enjoy it.
It's basically like if you took your short story to the mall and did a dramatic reading over the intercom.
Yeah, basically. Some people are just there, just for the general event, and it's like, oh, what the hell is this?
Whereas, some people would be, stop and go, this is interesting, and the others would, throw tomatoes.
Yeah, and I will say that generally for people who want to put stuff out there, like who are writing short stories, doing fan content, 10 Forward Weekly is actually a really good place. It's just not good for my style because I'm A, emotional, and B, kind of psychologically intense. So people can flirt that into sexy time, which is not the case.
Yeah. But, it shouldn't discourage people from doing, like lore blogs for your Foundry missions or any kind of, user-made content. I mean, we've had like a super great reaction to our sort of the fan-made issues of not Jane's. That's what we're parodying. Jace's.
Yeah.
maybe
And
Interstellar.
I did recently.
Those have been going really great.
And I did talk Starfleet Theta, who wrote a short story for Tardy, our mascot tardigrade. And hopefully, I think he sent that over to Kale. So we might see that in the next 10 Forward. So as we were talking about, like, 10 Forward Weekly audience, not so good place to put Greendragoon. It's like, I kind of just did that this week with someone else. Although, if someone finds something romantic about Tardy, more power to them.
Okay, so I have to ask, because I know you've tried. Have you gotten your tardigrade fan art onto After Trek?
No, it did not appear on After Trek.
So
the Star Trek. Oh, here's the thing.
And Discovery has kind of moved on from the tardigrade, so it's probably not gonna.
But here's the thing: the Star Trek writers' room retweeted it.
Oh, there you go.
So I know at least one of those people saw it. And that's actually my most popular tweet ever. It went slightly viral. To the was like, I got 1,000 likes, or not 100 likes. And it's like, it's so much for what we do on Star Trek Foundry. But yeah, I mean, I've actually kept going with that tardigrade art. So I did one for Halloween and sent that in to Kale.
I saw it. It was great.
Yeah. Hello.
So we have also with us PaxFederatica. So what have you been doing to pass the time while the Foundry's down?
Believe it or not, I've actually been working on my latest Foundry mission. I've been doing it via the Trello project management app, which is really good for storyboarding. So I've been using that to assemble kind of offline, at least the last couple of maps of my next mission, which is by the way, it's a Romulan Republic mission called Thieves in the Night. And it is the first installment of my cross-faction Total Eclipse series. Anyway, that's one thing I've been doing, and I've also been starting to map out the rest of the series. I got missions planned for the KDF and for Starfleet, and then sort of a grand finale for all three factions.
Awesome.
But before we go on to what we're going to do today, actually, there was one thing out of a previous 10 Forward Weekly that we should mention. Since we're a Foundry show, apparently Zerones Rex was leading a class of sorts in her office about how to add objects to the Foundry.
Yeah, so various developers attended that, and it's not like she's hoping for people to sort of take on the role of a regular Zero, but I mean, every now and then we might see something from someone else besides her, and I think Taco are the two devs who put most of the stuff in. I'm just wondering who does the most of the shit.
Yeah, Taco has done in the past.
Okay. Just making sure I'm citing the right name.
I believe what we were told at some point is that the ships, it's kind of a cross between they automatically go in, the playable ones when they become playable, and some manual labor that goes on with that. I think maybe Jams has done some work on it. I think Thomas maybe. I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure besides Zero who else we got supporting the Foundry. But then there's a possibility we could be getting a few more things here and there over time.
That'd be great. I mean, obviously, the more people who know how to put some stuff in, the better it is.
Yeah, and especially just like as stuff goes in, make sure you show your appreciation to the various devs involved.
Absolutely.
Just because giving them the feedback that their work is actually amounting to something, I think would be really good.
I want to make a T-shirt now.
Tweet them go ahead.
I want to make a T-shirt now that says there's a little Zero inside of all of us.
No, on the back it says, "Don't you want some Foundry, friend?" I'll say, okay, so the reason that Pax is joining us tonight is because he is a big fan of the classic Star Trek game Hidden Evil, and he wanted to join us tonight because we're going to be playing that.
Mm-hmm. This is actually one of the few older Star Trek games that I've actually played through from start to finish. And also, another reason I recommended it is because once you start seeing it, the format of the game will be quite familiar to you as a Star Trek Online player.
That is what Dragoon told me one time. He said it's something like, it really is kind of like ground play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, with a fixed camera.
Yeah.
So this is going to take us all the way back to 1999. Kind of riding that the first part of that wave of great Star Trek games that we had back then in the late 90s and early 2000s.
And this is actually a follow-up to Star Trek Insurrection.
Yeah.
And it also follows on from the TNG episode The Chase, at least story-wise.
Which Stowe has also done.
Hmm.
So, Dragoon, why don't you get us started?
Okay.
We should note that this is going to be the first stream that is broadcasting in 1080p. And yes. Guess what we're doing with it?
Playing a game that is in what resolution again, Dragoon?
640 by 480.
I mean, maybe they might see a little more in these bits. I mean, it was a nice shot.
I've got the stream going, and at least the intro video is good looking. the old Activision one with the ship blowing up the logo.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one.
Everybody would like some audio too.
Audio would be good.
Always helps.
I'm not getting any audio on my end.
Not yet.
You're not going to get it over Skype.
Oh well.
Spinner.
We'll just have to trust that Dragoon is broadcasting the audio.
You can make up some audio. do 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 do.
It's the Enterprise.
9 months ago, we aided the peaceful Baku race against the aggressions of a rebellious faction of their people known as the
Clips from the greatest Star Trek movie ever.
I thought it had a nice balance of stuff.
I'm sarcastic, but I always liked it.
So you should be able to hear the audio.
I sort of can.
And, of course, Hidden Evil got Patrick Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
But of course,
there are a couple other Trek actors that reprise their roles for this. Salome Jens is the Preserver. Greg Henry, who played Subedar Gallatin / Galna in Insurrection, is back for this. However, Anij is voiced by a different actress. Her name is Janice Lind. And she has a ton of TV credits dating back to 1963, but nothing particularly well known.
Yeah. So basically, one of those people who kind of just fills in for a lot of various roles.
Yeah.
Wait,
there is
you guys?
One other. There are actually a couple other Trek veterans in this cast. Joseph Ruskin, who shows up, he plays the Vulcan Master Saitan in this game. He's appeared in every Trek series except TNG and Discovery, though he did have a role in Insurrection, but it's not the same as in this game. And also, Judy Durand is the computer voice instead of Majel Barrett.
It seems like a lot when you'd have Star Trek games of this era would often raid the B talent pool to kind of fill out the roster.
Yeah, one other note.
They really did get quite a good chunk of A talent in those days.
Yeah. One other noteworthy voice is that of the player character, Ensign Sovak. He is voiced by Christopher Gorham, who has, again, been in a whole bunch of different TV series. He was a regular on at least one of them called Covert Affairs, according to IMDb. And he also voiced the Flash in 3 Justice League animated videos.
All right, well, you guys should be able to hear the audio. Remember to streaming it over the Skype channel.
But is there any right now?
No.
I mean, we're just at the game menu, so.
Yeah, so we might want to
kind of hear it.
Yeah, so we might want to get moving with the actual game.
Yeah.
Okay. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Press the button.
Originally, I thought my assignment on Outpost 40 was the worst I could have received after graduating from Starfleet Academy. Things may be looking up, though. Not only is the Starship Enterprise coming to the station, but I have been assigned to pilot Captain Picard himself to the Baku planet. This could be my chance to be reassigned. I've been so anxious that I haven't been able to sleep, so I'm practicing my holodeck programs for a few hours. Computer, access training program 01.
Program initiated.
Greetings, Master Satan.
Ah, pupil, you have returned to your training.
Yes, patron.
Might be a little loud.
The time I finally grasped the discipline.
Oh, do I need to turn it down?
Indeed.
It kind of killed my ears.
Just a bit.
The doors.
Who has mastered the Vulcan nerve pinch?
How's that?
Very well. Apply
I guess
the
it's
pinch
okay.
on the neck of that guard there. Your fingers must press on the specific areas of the neck in the proper sequence.
I'm not going to tell you what those are. You just have to wing it.
I got the. So I've actually got the boxed copy from way back when, and so I've got the cheat card here.
Ah.
Vulcan nerve pinches
You
4.
You always had to have that in front of you back in the day. Hopefully, this will go better than our previous
Yeah, I saw that.
live stream where we really sucked at
Despite
Starfleet
your
Academy.
human emotional outburst, you have completed your Vulcan training and honored the memory of your biological parents. Live long and prosper, my ward.
Peace and long life, patron. Computer,
So
initiate training program 02.
Program initiated. Use your phaser to disable the robot drones.
funny enough,
The stream
Like
is
Mike-
the chat room is telling us that the game volume is a little low on their end.
okay.
You know, with the fact that Star Trek Armada also started in the Briar Patch, it'd be kind of funny if they actually shared continuity back in those days, if they ever thought about something like that. I mean, it was just like, here's the last film, let's use the iconography from it. Nice starting place, got some sort of low-grade villains. But yeah, I mean, back in the day, they could have thought about that sort of thing.
I'm sure they didn't.
Oh yeah, yeah, they didn't, but they could have, like, as an alternative to what they actually did.
So what's the control scheme here, Dragoon? Are you using keyboard, mouse?
Yeah, so I'm using the keyboard to turn around, spacebar to fire. I don't so much aim as kind of get my character pointed in the right direction.
It aims for you.
Yeah,
Poorly.
well, the little reticles appear on the
I
target.
see that, yeah.
I love that. That backdrop is perfect for the Halloween season.
What I like about this era of gaming is just so a subtle art thing, is that these backgrounds are basically pre-painted.
Yeah,
So-
they're pre-rendered.
hmm
And that's the thing, is that for some reason they just they have. I like that style and what it allowed them to do back then. So you got
It
some
ages
pretty
just a little
imaginative
bit
things. Yeah, it was good enough that they could actually start like implementing things. Not in full, but like in Final Fantasy, some of the Final Fantasy games, Septerra Core. I mean, they did some pretty nifty stuff with the art. I mean, just as art's sake. So I did really appreciate that back in the day, and still now, it's easy to go back to those.
Ensign's
So even
log
as low
supplement.
res as it is, it
Past
looks quite
6
cool.
hours, I have assisted
Yeah.
Captain Picard at the alien ruins beneath the Sona colony. From what we have determined, the race had lived on this planet 5 billion years ago.
Picard to Ensign Sovok. Report to me at the excavation site immediately. I've uncovered something that needs to be analyzed.
On my way, sir.
Got Data here.
So am I getting the impression that the player character here is a human raised by Vulcans?
Yes. See Michael Burns?
What does that remind you?
Yeah, where have we seen that before?
Yeah. I'm telling you, there's like nothing original in Discovery. It's all been done before.
Because it's the
Well,
Simpsons
then how can
phenomenon.
it not be Trek then, like so many people are saying online? Anyway, that's we'll save that for our other show.
Spoiler alert, he does not get court-martialed.
Not even if you fail to finish your objectives.
No, the player can't like just decide like I'm gonna like they didn't institute the choice system to the extent of like I'm just gonna decide to kill everyone, Fallout style. Shoot.
Whenever I play Skyrim, my gameplay eventually will devolve into that at some point.
One thing is,
can I murder everyone in this village?
Okay, so I've tried that a couple times in Oblivion. I've never done that in Skyrim. Kind of one of the odd things is that I did that in Deus Ex, Invisible War, and it started in the worst way possible. I was just like, oh, just to kind of go tangent. It'll get good, but it just sort of went from just my brother on the couch just saying, "Hey, you should throw that glass at like you just." Try to, give this glass to a child. It's like, okay, I did that. I threw it with augmented strength and it killed the child in Deus Ex, which apparently was possible. The family, like the parents saw. Yeah, so the parents saw, ran out of the room. So I had to take care of the witnesses, and it just kept expanding out and out. It covered the entire map. But then I decided, you know what? I'm going to just, take all the bodies, put them into one place. This is very Star Trek. And then I shot it with a rocket, and then I was done.
This ground map looks a lot like something Stowe would do.
It's very Foundry-esque.
Yes.
Like you could kind of build this in the Foundry.
Yeah. Because it's the miscellaneous fed, it's got crates filling up the place.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, this is Picard's girlfriend from Insurrection, right?
Elise.
Yeah. Again, voiced by a different actress.
I'm wondering what the flanges are for on the side. It looks like something should land there. Like something lands there, and those kind of, just cushion its fall a little bit. So then you can work on the underside. It's a Federation garage. It has decorative planters.
Hey, this looks like the right way. They don't give you a lot of direction in this game.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, all this construction by the Federation and excavation is sort of.
I want these floor tiles.
It's like it negates the ending of the film, though.
It does.
Just sort of fighting against outside influence harming these people.
And we're just going to start drilling.
Yeah.
Supposedly, this is a different part of the planet this other colony is on.
True, but now we're doing apparently we're building on top of their ancient civilization.
Well, this doesn't belong to the Baku.
Well, not the Baku, but it's still like a cultural heritage point on the planet.
Well, I don't think they knew they were building on top of something. It's something they discovered.
Yeah.
And that's why the Federation and Picard have been brought in.
While I continue my work
The crack of doom, apparently.
This relic to Commander Data for analysis.
Understood, sir.
Kind of looked like Locutus at a distance. Just a little bit of little shading on the side of the face, a little too heavy. See, I mean, think about the graphics in this time, just what we see on the models. It's basically Super Mario 64 era, and yet look at that room. That was pretty nifty.
The character art is where it's a bit of a letdown.
Yeah,
well, that's because that's the real time stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, Final Fantasy IX was about this era. 8 and 9. And 9's one of my favorite games ever. And it's kind of funny is that it's sort of in a very sort of Foundry-esque style. So it's just telling a story through dialogue, small chunks of dialogue. And with that in the art, you can do a lot with this. And I kind of am a little disappointed that in the sort of the return of retro games, there hasn't really been a lot of this style. The 3D adventure game with the pre-rendered backdrops, because it was trying to get around a technical limitation, but it did do a lot, in terms of basically creating a narrative style that had to do more with less.
You really had to have a good story.
Okay.
You had to have a good story, and that really brought it out. Nowadays, I mean, it's very much more mechanical, where you have to have a story, but then the rest of it just kind of falls down to just the mechanics they have in the game.
Well, this first part was pretty lame. All they make you walk all the way down to Picard, and then just make you walk all the way back to Data.
We saw a cool ruin thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ensign.
Your classic
like
fetch
that.
quest.
There is an advanced ceramic microcircuitry system within the talisman. Intriguing. Data
Oh, they got Data.
Picard.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Data.
I read his credit. I forgot.
What did your
Anyway, the main reason I commented on that is because I've had reviewers ding me on that sort of thing before in the past for my Foundry missions.
Circuitry indicates that it might be a device used to emit high energy frequencies.
Who's there? Identify yourself. Data, I'm under attack at the ruins.
The captain is in danger and we must assist. Ensign, follow me to the excavation site.
I'm gonna say that probably wasn't the best musical chord to at that moment. Just hit it with a sledgehammer.
Unknown assailants. Commander Data has ordered me to follow him to the excavation site and assist the captain.
Oh.
So I'm looking this up here, and 1999 was really a pretty good year for games. Got Age of Empires 2, System Shock 2, Unreal Tournament,
The Sona have erected a shield
Homeworld.
around sections of the colony. My analysis indicates that they are serially linked and controlled from a single source. Find and deactivate
one of
the
the
shield
expansions
array, and I will be
for
able to bring down the
Half-Life,
shield at my location.
Yes, sir.
Quake
I'll
3,
look for the shield array immediately.
Free Space 2, Rainbow Six Rogue Spear. That was a pretty good one.
I was on I played a lot of Unreal Tournament.
That was an excellent one.
And multiplayer shooters haven't really done a better job since. Like, I was watching some the Star Wars Battlefront 2. Their big addition is the game mode from Unreal Tournament, the first one. And it's like, really, guys? Dress it up. And of course, compromise the gameplay in order to favor an unlock system that encourages players to basically stick with it for just long enough, because eventually you get to level 50 and you'll get all the good guns, and then, you can reset yourself to relive the leveling experience. I kind of don't like multiplayer shooters these days.
So they decided you needed progression systems.
Rainbow Six Vegas handled it well, because it started off as just like, you can just get guns that are a slight tweak on what you have, so you can sort of handle a different playstyle. It's very somewhat finesseful.
I love that this owner are just randomly running back and forth.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now we're playing hide and seek. Peekaboo!
They were just planning to play hide and seek, and you guys have to shoot them.
They look scared. Can we just talk to them?
What the hell is Data doing?
I think
be
the
a
AI
decoy.
needs work. Spock him out. There we go.
You think our friends here were involved with Captain Picard's disappearance?
You know these Sona? They are friends of yours?
No, Commander. It was a figure of speech. They're not really my friends.
Your usage of the word friend.
Getting some echo from somebody there.
Henceforth, I will assume most of your diction is sarcastic.
Well, yes, sir.
Let us continue.
I'm getting
our
it
search for
too.
the captain.
Picard fell in the big hole. He dead. Game over. Credits roll. I want the big hoop for the Foundry.
I don't think we're allowed to ask for assets from other games.
Or the Railers.
A man can dream, though.
Yeah, is that once you get a load of the Xenophores, you're going to want them in the Foundry too.
I actually think Stowe would be a great opportunity to recreate some of the older games.
Yeah, because we had the conversation of like,
Ooh,
how
puzzle.
would you do something like Star Trek Armada in the Foundry, and using dialogue prompts to sort of select which ships are quote built from a shipyard of some kind. Ah, there we go.
Well done, Dragoon.
And we're killed. Everyone's dead.
So we have a question. Is the little Starfleet Delta...
Oh, no!
Uh-oh.
We died! Panic! We really did die. We win!
I'm going to hope this thing has autosave.
We skip dialogue? I mean, can't be too long.
Part of the risk you take.
No, it doesn't.
No!
Ensign Sovok's personal log.
It appears we can skip
Training program
certain things.
01.
Yeah, we can skip the cutscenes.
Initiated.
Greetings, Master Satan.
Pupil.
Yeah,
Return to your
this game
training.
is not meant for the modern age, and
I think this will be the time I finally grasp the discipline.
jumping through a lot of hoops to get it working.
You would be one of the few humans who has mastered the Vulcan nerve pinch. Very well. Apply the pinch on the neck of that guard there. Your fingers must press on the specific areas of the neck in the proper sequence.
First, you plunge your fingers deep into the neck. You rip out their trachea. You put it in upside down, close the wound, and that apparently does it. It's happened so fast, it looks like you're just putting your hand at their shoulder.
Yes, I did it.
Despite your human emotional outburst, you have completed your Vulcan training and honored the memory of your biological parents. Live long and prosper, my ward.
Peace and long life, patron. Computer, initiate
I'll
training
say this,
program
he went down
02.
faster than George you did.
Initiated. Use your phaser to disable the robot drones.
With a healthy dose of Vulcan condescension there.
I can only imagine what the Foley artist did for the sound effect of the drone debris falling. Because it sounds like, you know, they just tipped over a full fax machine. Got a lot of weight to it.
Of course, note that those are the little remote taggers from Insurrection.
Oh, okay.
Ensign Sobuk, please report to Shuttle Bay 2 for scheduled flight duty.
Wonder what that space station actually does.
I'm probably set up
Catalog.
to protect the briar patch.
Catalog, gaseous anomalies too.
Ensign Sobuk, report to me at the excavation site immediately. I've uncovered something that needs to be analyzed.
On my way, sir.
Spins gently once every 4 hours.
So this is in the dark ages before autosave.
Yeah. On the plus side, at least I know the way now.
This is really a nice looking sort of
Yes.
building complex here.
Yeah, some pretty neat designs.
They apparently had time to lay down some decorative tile.
They did. I mean, they gotta have hobbies when they're down there. Someone was just into decorative tiling. It's like, yeah, go nuts. And then, of course, the hideously unsafe cargo lift down 100 feet.
Remember, there is no OSHA in the future.
Yeah. No OSHA. You know, maybe they have force fields, but, you know, if there's a power failure, you're just going.
Understood, sir.
That'd be funny. When Picard does it, railings pop up, but when we do it, nope, we're just red shirt. It's how it's how incentives work in the future.
Survive Ensign, and you have a future. Starfleet.
Yeah,
if you get promoted, you get to have railings.
You get to have railings. It's the Isaac Asimov Caves of Steel style grade system. So that's what you work for. It's not just like I work to better myself. It's I work to survive.
It also works for consoles.
Even the Romulan lift into Installation 18 seemed to be safer than that.
It also works for consoles. You know, if you make it past Lieutenant, then you get to have a console that's not made of explodium.
Yep. They don't just have a very weak EPS conduit running straight through up in a loop through your console.
Unless, of course, you're in an alternate universe.
Unless alternate universe, then everything's flipped around.
Right.
Or if you're in a time
it's only
loop.
the ensigns who survive.
Yeah, if you're in a time loop too, I mean, all rules are off because it's like, hey, everyone can die.
Me to deliver this to you?
Thank you, Ensign. There is an advanced ceramic microcircuitry system within the Talisman. Intriguing. Data to Captain Picard.
Yes, Mr. Data. I trust Ensign Sobuk delivered the talisman. What did your analysis determine?
The talisman is similar to the relic you recovered yesterday. The organization of the talisman's ceramic circuitry indicates that it might be a device used to emit high-energy frequencies.
Who's there? Identify yourself. Data, I'm under attack at the ruins.
The captain is in danger and we must assist. Ensign, follow me to the excavation site.
Ensign's log supplemental. Captain.
Isn't
he supposed to be rushing out to help Data save the captain? Why is he stopping to record a log?
Well, it's kind of like a quick recap of what's going on.
There's any number of times in Star Trek where you think just like, really, you took time to record a log then?
Especially in TOS. You fool, Sona! We've got the ability to save and reload! You're powerless against us.
Someone in our chat room was pointing out the hands, which look like mittens. Hands is definitely something that they struggled with character art in this area.
For a long time.
Yeah,
yeah.
The hands in Elite Force were pretty bad.
It was like Halo 2 was one of the first... No, that still even had some static hands. They started doing custom animation around that time. Her hands
Oh yeah,
and
I mean Halo 2. If you go back and look at that character art, it's not great.
oh no, but that they actually had hands that weren't mittens. They did have mitten hands in Halo 1 though, so that was kind of like the transition, just the original 2004 era. That's when we started getting gun like actual hands that had distinct fingers. For the youngins listening to this, 2004. I mean, there was a time when our characters didn't even have multiple fingers. They just had a big club and they punched each other with it.
And then Bloodleaf mentions lip sync. That's something really funny because when Stowe started, it didn't have any actual mouth movement.
No, that got added.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put too much stock in the lip sync, just because I'm having to run this through the software renderer, and my processor runs a lot faster than computers of the day.
I will say it is pretty amazing that they do even have moving mouths in this era, so just give them some credit. I mean, the only other game I can remember that really did that, well, GoldenEye kind of. It was just that. So they're actually trying to get something akin to acting out of the characters here.
Half-Life, I think, had some mouth movement, if I remember correctly, the original one.
Picard's disappearance? You know these Sona? They are friends of yours.
Yeah.
Which was just a little. The first game was a little bit before this.
Did that actually have the head changing shape, or was it just like a changing texture? Because I know some games did that, like Shogo.
I don't remember.
The Shogo, they just basically, well, if they did anything, actually not. No, they didn't do that. One of these early games, all they did was basically change the texture on the face, and that's how they actually got the mouth moving, and more of a cartoon style.
Yeah, that's
or
what's
claymation
doing
style. Oh, I thought I actually saw the jaw moving.
Okay, so we're back to the point where we crashed before, so let's click save.
Hopefully this won't be a repeat crash.
We shall see. Otherwise, we're going to have to panic. Quick, do a puppet show!
Oh.
He's been vaporized.
Oh, we're good. Okay.
Hey!
To Captain Picard or Commander Data. Can anyone respond?
Sovok, this is Captain Picard. Where are you?
It's hard to describe, sir. Commander Data and I activated the alien transporter and we were separated. I'm not sure where I am now.
I activated the transporter when the sonar attacked me, so I assume they have been scattered somewhere down here as well. Have you made contact with Data?
Not yet, sir.
My apologies for not communicating.
I just said we're separated!
Data Sonar Patrol. Data, are you all right?
Yes, sir. For an unknown reason, the alien device that transported both you and the ensign ignored my presence. It is possible that the device had difficulty recognizing my artificial body as a suitable candidate for transport. As a result, I am still in the colony.
Data, stay in the colony and monitor the sonar as closely as you can. Ensign, your orders are to explore your area and to report any substantial findings you discover immediately. We must all work together so that we can regroup quickly.
Aye, sir.
Aye, sir.
And just imagine if this was one of the actual episodes and an ensign got separated like this. What would the chances of survival be?
Well, in this case, pretty good because he's the main character.
Well, in this case, he's the main character. But just imagine, like, it's Picard and an ensign are trapped in an unknown alien installation. Picard's going to find the body pretty soon.
Unless it's another lower decks type deal.
Where the ensign is the main character of the episode.
Yeah.
They just reviewed that on the last Mission Log podcast.
I was actually thinking, watching the latest episode of Supernatural last night, and it was clear to me that they were setting up a character for the spinoff that they've been developing. Otherwise, that character would have been dead about 5 minutes into the episode.
Alright, so if I scan it... There we go.
a certain amount of problem solving involved here. Not just shooting everything.
Dranzuli!
I believe we do have an answer to a question that was asked earlier in the chat room, though. The little delta symbol in the bottom right is your health monitor.
Yes. Or it goes down as I take damage.
And I believe we just encountered the first of these xenophores. Spoiler alert, they won't be the last. Nor do they all take that same form.
Straight or to the left?
Oh.
Well, I was going to say, to your character's left, I mean, you could try that way, but it seems like it's going to be certain death. But straight ahead, yeah, that might be a path. I would go right. I would go right. I have a feeling about right.
Oh, that's my character's right.
No, your other right.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, the other way. Okay, so our left is certain death. So I would say our right.
Oh, now you went into the flying xenophore.
This is very Final Fantasy.
So is there a way to replenish your health?
Yeah, I've got hyposprays. So
there you go.
Awakened, I sense a child.
Who are you?
I have been for countless years. Zatal.
I'm Ensign Sovak of the United Federation of Planets. I'm searching for another person who transported here, Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
I sense others. They are far. I cannot help you like this. The Undercity is too weak. As am I. Must draw life power back into planet. Must restore the metaphasic conductors. I can aid you then.
I will do what I can, Zatal. Where are these conductors?
Use the portals to go. Restore metaphasic flow. Must go now, child.
Ensign to Captain Picard, I've made first contact with an alien entity.
Someone is communicating with you.
I, sir, a being known as Zatal, has asked me to activate a conductor device that sounds like some global power source. With the conductors active, she may be able to help us.
This sounds like our best opportunity to learn more about this culture and discover a way out. Proceed, Ensign. Find these conductors and activate them if you can.
Aye, sir.
We have deniability when this all goes wrong. We asked Captain Picard.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like very trusting here that's not evil.
Yep. Oh, the giant bug monsters that have been trying to kill you. Oh, no, they're just, our equivalent of hamsters. We keep them around for reasons.
Etsona.
More Zerg attacking.
These are Dranzuli.
You must construct additional pylons.
Flying Dranzuli.
The closest thing that they remind me of most in Stowe are the pestilence from the bluegill mobs.
Yeah, the bluegill.
Oh yeah, those ones. Ground ones. We've been fighting them in the most recent featured episode.
Uh-huh.
But they did
transportation chamber.
It's a very nice angle, very nice lighting on the static backdrop. I'd say a little straight piece. Hey!
Why did they use the Romulan cloaking sound effect for that?
They had it.
They didn't want to record something new.
Like they recycled a whole bunch of sound effects from other series to discover Genza. That's oh.
Those look very healthful if we walked into them.
How about if I turn them off?
Oh god! We got stabbed. Run away.
And another more tentacle creatures for Duncan to freak out about.
Not going well.
Need a hyper spray.
Can we just keep backing up? Keep backing up. Oh no! That looks like a relative of the tardigrade. It's got 8 legs and
Actually, I was thinking it looked like the crab creatures from Fallout 4.
Now it's an arthropod as opposed to whatever the file of the tardigrade's in.
I feel like I should save at this point.
It's probably a good idea.
Oh no! We're killing it. He just wants to be your friend.
Don't you want a xenophore friend? Well, actually, no, we don't.
He's coming for hugs.
He's a power eater.
I think we should introduce him to the stabby thing.
That's what I'm thinking.
They'll be such friends. It'll be all right, right? Oh yeah, no! They're having an intimate moment. He'll be back, right?
Nah, he's dead.
Oh. But I think we can use the console that thing was protecting. The red one on the wall.
Child, you have succeeded. The conductors once again bring life to the core of the planet.
With the conductors active, can you help me find Captain Picard?
It is possible, child, but difficult for me. In truth, I am trapped in a stasis field in my own lab.
Why are you trapped?
I am the last of a race that doomed itself with arrogance. We sought to manipulate our genes to better ourselves far beyond normal evolution. But we simply accelerated our own extinction. I was placed in stasis by my colleagues who hoped that one day I would find a cure. But in my prison, I can do nothing but remember. If you came to my lab, there are devices here that could help you find your captain.
Ensign to Captain Picard.
I've noticed activity in my area. Machines and lights are activating around me. You turned on the conductors?
Aye, sir. Zatal also contacted me again and told me that there are devices in her lab that could help us find each other.
Excellent work, Ensign. Find her lab and report back to me. I will continue to explore from my area. Picard out.
Ensign's log supplemental. The scientist Zatal has informed me that certain devices in her lab will help me locate the captain. Captain Picard has therefore ordered me to find Zatal's lab.
Well, the nice thing is when we get one of those supplemental logs, it restores my health. Save often. All right.
I'm getting the idea that this game is one of those where you have to backtrack a lot.
Sovok, what would you like to know?
Tell me about this place.
You stand within the Institute. Long ago, it was a center of knowledge. It was our last hope during the Xenophore War.
A war? Is that why you were the last of your people?
In our vain pursuit of perfection, we created the Xenophore Seed, a genetic structure which we thought would uplift all of us. However, a flaw developed in the seed that attempted to turn its host into a Xenophore creature. The Xenophores spawned countless abominations, ravaging our cities and preventing us from finding a cure. We stopped them, but at a terrible cost.
We ran out of Vespene gas. We stopped them by building massive piles of pylons right in front of their base. They could only attack it with drones.
That's far enough, Ensign Sovok. This recombination machine will create something to deal with you.
No, because I'll just one-shot it.
He can't catch me. Oh god, I'm dead. Quick draw. This is also the arrow.
Good shooting there, Tex.
Also the arrow one. Whenever, something just dropped out of your pocket, it would just hover a little bit off the ground and then just rotate perpetually. Very strange things were going on in the universe at that time.
Run, Forrest, run. Speaking of the 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
Let's run with that theme. Let's see. Movies of 1999. The Matrix.
Obviously.
The Mummy. The Brendan Fraser one.
Yeah.
The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
I had that one spoiled for me, but I didn't believe the guy who told me, so I was surprised anyway. So that works, Just when somebody, don't believe any spoilers you read. So even if they're accurate, you'll still be surprised.
I kind of went through something like that with Into Darkness, where someone who was telling me what happened at the end, I kind of didn't believe them, and then I looked it up on the internet, and then I was like, holy crap.
But Bloodleaf says Star Wars Episode 1. Well, yeah, I was just listing good movies, though.
I have a growing appreciation for the prequels. They had story and they tried.
There are redeeming features in each one.
It's unique visual style, too.
I will say that.
What I keep going back to on those. It's just like, they did have a very new and interesting aesthetic. And they did play out through everything. And they did spend a lot of time trying to develop that.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Dragoon just died.
Science
Don't walk through those.
I have lost contact with both Captain Picard and Ensign Sovak. The Sona have captured the colony, and
basically we're just...
You failed, and Captain Picard is dead.
And those two little xenomorphs were teabagging you. Take that, noob!
Hey, you know, obviously there's a timeline where Ensign Sovak fails here, Captain Picard dies, and so therefore Nemesis doesn't happen the same way, and Data lives.
Yay!
But then again, if Captain Picard's not around, maybe Shinzon destroys Earth with the Thaleron device.
Oh. Or just Shinzon's just like, well, Picard's dead, now there's no point in trying. I'm just going to take up decorative gardening.
So there's no point in attacking the Federation, so I'll just, you know...
I'll just catch up on some reading.
So what's next? Let's see. TV shows of 1999. The West Wing, one of my favorites.
Simpsons.
That was the year Deep Space Nine ended.
Far enough, Ensign Sovak. This recombination machine will create something to deal with you.
Let's see. Angel and Friends was on in the middle of its run. Roswell, I remember that as being really cheesy. Batman Beyond, one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
I keep wishing someone would make a live-action version of that. Frasier, good sitcom. Farscape.
Ah, yes, I was going to ask about that one. Because, like, wait, was that, like, early 2000s?
Yeah, no, it was 1999 to 03.
Ah, so it started in 99. Okay. Hey, Farscape. I don't know what's with it with me, but, like, there's no better combination than sci-fi and Jim Henson Muppets.
I liked Farscape.
It just had this kind of crazy...
Yeah, I really liked it.
It was just offbeat and over the top, and it worked.
Yeah. One of my favorite episodes, just looking back, is the episode where they crossed over and basically going through John Crichton's psyche and did a Looney Tunes episode.
Oh, yeah, where he's on the
deathbed.
And...
Yeah, basically, and he's fighting Scorpio. Or the sort of the neural implant of Scorpio. Without that basically, that just encapsulates the whole series. Because you got a really compelling character drama, and it's also off the wall. It still has that unique visual style.
Bloodleaf is asking if Babylon 5 was still on, which it was not. The finale was 1998. However, I think they kept producing some of the TV movies past that.
What about Firefly?
It says Stargate SG-1 on it in 99 too. That's still going?
I believe it would have been. Let me look that up. Yeah, because it started in 1997.
Yeah. What year was Firefly?
Firefly.
I want
to say it was 2002, 2003.
Okay. Yeah, a little bit later. I was like, yeah, 2001.
Dragoon's dead again.
I don't worry.
We failed!
I saved right before.
Ensign's log supplement.
Gotta avoid the steam things.
Yeah, this is kind of hard to do.
Ensign Sovak supplemental. I'm stuck in a time loop. Subclass O'Brien.
Ensign's log supplemental.
Xenomorphs here make a really cute noise, and they're yellow. He's dead, Jim.
Ensign's log supplement.
Again.
Okay, got past that one.
Those little critters seem to love that hot steam.
I suppose there's a way you could use that. Can you scan them or something?
I can certainly try.
I guess that doesn't help you.
Yeah, I think they're just there as an added obstacle that if you try to go through, is there collision with them?
No, I don't think I collide with them.
Okay. I guess they're there for scenery. Just to show,
Science officer's log sup.
Ensign's log supplemental.
Certainly had some high difficulty in these old games.
Yeah.
As we found out when we did Starfleet Academy.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, it's just with the fact of, like, in how these games are paced, it basically assumed that the player had a much greater degree of patience.
Yes.
So that they're willing to work through problems rather than just like, this is stupid, throw down the controller, and smash it. Yay!
Oh, he made it.
Sort of.
One more to go.
Don't get hit by it!
Hyper spray!
Yay! Can we hit the green button?
What I'm trying to do.
Oh, too bad.
Science officer's log supplemental.
Ensign's log supplemental.
Let's save right after we, get past that second set.
Like, my brawn is stuck on.
Science officer's log.
Ensign's log supplemental.
It's got that little bit of a ramp up.
So he leaps forward, like, whenever I tap.
There you go!
Those little critters seem to
Then if you get past this one, go ahead and save. Go! Oh, don't go!
Oh.
That one stayed on for 3.
So, one thing I remember about this game that if you get killed by a xenophore, instead of Data's voice, you get kind of a voice of a xenophore saying that your body's going to be used to spawn more xenophores or something like that.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have children.
Those little critters seem to love
And they'll have grandchildren, and we'll continue on forever and ever.
I'm guessing it's more like the Kobali.
Or they're just laying eggs.
Science officer's log supplement.
Some varieties of wasp.
I think that noise we're hearing is the xenophores laughing at Green Dragoon here.
Probably.
Those little critters seem to love that hot steam.
Why can't he just climb over that thing in the middle?
It's a video game from the 90s.
Because they don't have a climbing animation.
Can you jump over it?
Well, I sort of survived that.
Do pick up the hyperspray again, and then save.
All right.
Now just run. Be reckless.
So if I hit the steamed vent directly, it pretty much takes down my health in one shot.
But if you could just get a glancing blow, then...
Yeah.
Go!
Hey, we made it.
They arrived just before you. Flee while you can.
Zatal? This is a delightful surprise. I am Admiral Rotok.
What are you doing? Release Zatal.
The chase for the secrets of the universe begins and ends here. This wretch is all that's left of a race of gods. We have decoded your message and your warnings, Zatal, hidden in our own DNA. And we have come for the Xenophore seed.
Xenophore seed? We destroyed it. But in the end, it destroyed us. Thankfully, it no longer exists to plague you, our descendants.
Wrong, old one. There is one source of the seed left.
You cannot. You don't understand what that organism can do.
Rejoice, old one. Your death means the birth of the new Romulan hegemony.
We just wiped out the last of the progenitors.
You need health.
Good.
Science Officer's Log Supplemental.
Ensign's Log Supplemental.
Probably better save it after that, if you can. Or it probably goes right into the cutscene.
Well, there's a brief moment. Once you pick up that hypospray, you can.
Science Officer's Log.
Ensign's Log Supplement.
You guys have seen me play Stowe, right? I can't play video games. See, it's like jumps like really far forward.
Yeah, like that.
There's like no subtlety to it.
I have lost contact.
Wonder what happens if I hold down shift.
Just run.
Okay, so if I hold... there we go.
Walk. Boosh, boosh, boosh. Boosh, go! Okay, now save.
Hang on. Heal.
Health and save.
Now save.
Sovok, they arrived just before you. Flee while you can.
Zatal?
This is a delightful surprise. I am Admiral Rotok.
What are you doing? Release Zatal.
The chase for the secrets of the universe begins and ends here. This wretch is all that's left of a race of gods. We have
I suppose you can skip through this.
Warnings, Zatal, hidden in our own DNA. And we have come for the Xenophore seed.
Xenophore seed? We destroyed it. But in the end, it destroyed us. Thankfully, it no longer exists to plague you, our descendants.
Wrong, old one. There is one source of the seed left.
You cannot. You don't understand what that organism can do.
Rejoice, old one. Your death means the birth of the new Romulan hegemony.
Okay.
The way the progenitor was rendered, she looked almost like a Tellarite.
Science Officer's Logs.
Ensign's
I think
Log
I just
Supplement.
saved.
You just got beat.
Romulans fight dirty.
Ensign's log supplement.
Ensign log supplemental. I keep having this recurring dream of
Ensign's
being
log supplement.
absolutely beat down by Romulans.
Run! Can you fire and move?
So it's hard to aim. I will say that.
How fast can you fire?
Better that time. Save.
Don't save! Don't save!
Kill that guy. Now save.
Captain, a group of Romulans led by Admiral Ratok attacked Zatal. They killed her to obtain an organism called the Xenophore Seed, the same thing that destroyed her people long ago.
That is disturbing news. If the Romulans manage to turn the seed into a weapon, the galaxy is endangered. We must redouble our efforts to find each other, and then we will pursue the Romulans and recover the seed.
There's a monitor in Zatal's lab. It's showing me your location. You appear to be in a steam-filled cavern.
Yes, I just used a portal to arrive in a steam chamber somewhere in the Institute. There's a bridge to another area, but it is blocked by scalding steam. I will need your assistance to get across. Hurry, Ensign. Much is at stake.
Ensign's log supplemental. Romulans have killed the scientist Zatal. While in Zatal's lab, I used a monitoring device to locate Captain Picard. My current orders are to help him cross a bridge blocked by steam.
I'd save it now.
Quickly, save before Dragoon gets himself killed again.
Yeah.
And again.
Don't worry,
and again.
we've got the magic save function. We're invincible.
We can rebuild this ensign. We have the technology.
Uniform yellow. Wouldn't have been a red shirt that way.
Actually, yellow was the red shirt of the TNG era.
Oh, yeah. Because they were the security
Yar
guards.
found that out the hard way.
Alright, so I gotta find the transport chamber for this area.
Maybe down if there's a... Oh, wait. So it's not that platform. Oh, what about that thing?
What, here? Hey, this looks promising.
Dramatic camera angles. Definitely promising.
And he slips and falls. Damn you, no railings!
What's really fun is you're going through corridors in an interior, and you get ambushed by xenophores once you get to a corridor junction.
Science Officer's Log Supplement.
Ensign's log supplemental.
Did you believe me if I said I actually beat this game once?
I'm gonna say that wasp totally teabagged you.
Once.
It went up and down on your corpse. Come on. That thing was just showboating.
I think they're taking more shots to take down now, too.
They're revolting!
Pretty much.
Captain Picard.
Oh, more steam. Safe.
Tremendous amounts of heat. That nearby platform could be a power source for the steam exhaust system. If we could temporarily inhibit that device, perhaps the steam would cease, and I could get across.
Aye, sir.
Hey.
All right.
At least it's actually giving you a way to get rid of the steam this time. If you can figure it out.
Oh, I know how to figure it out.
What I think is amazing about this game is just the fact that Picard is actually delegating.
Okay.
Yeah, if this were Stowe, this ensign would be an admiral. He'd be doing everything himself. Yeah, watch out for that thing.
Mr. Hugglebugs is dead.
Okay, I think I got what I needed, though.
Another sacrificial bug friend.
Actually, I don't think I need to sacrifice him. I need him alive this time.
Yay! Oh, friend's moving up in the bug world. Soon we'll have him as an ensign, and Lieutenant Tardigrade, Lieutenant Tardy will have a developing crew of miscellaneous multiped organisms.
Not non-humanoids.
Have to have at least more than 6 or more legs. Actually, no, 5 or more. 5 or more, and you can be part of Lieutenant Tardy's crew.
It's discriminatory against Undine, though. They only have 3 legs.
Unless they walk on all 5s. Then they can just, they do that once and then...
I'm sure that worked, Dragoon.
What just happened?
Oh, he exploded! You killed him! You monster!
Okay! I think there's a second component to this.
There's that other type of xenophore that likes the steam. It's not the bugs.
Well, we need
the yellow ones.
I think we need both.
They team up?
Maybe. You know, the worst part, though, is I gotta go through the seam vents again.
Do we have to go? We have to go the same way, right?
Ugh.
Science officers lost.
Oh wow, yeah, we gotta fight some.
Ensign's log supplemental.
This is starting to be very Darkest Dungeons-esque.
Science Officer's Log Supplemental. I have lost contact with both Captain Picard and Ensign Sovok. The Sona have captured the colony, and I have taken the shuttle to reach the...
Ensign's log supplemental.
Let me this, gentlemen. How am I supposed to beat this?
Do we... Okay, so
we need something... We need to build a creature that can... both is heat resistant and absorbs metaphasic energy.
I'm just wondering, I just needed to see, like, when you're doing the, that challenge with the bugs in the steam. So, you couldn't immediately just backtrack, right? You had to proceed all the way through that.
Yeah, because I have to be at the transporter in order to beam anywhere.
Okay,
and it doesn't...
I'm gonna say, try it with crazy running, don't fight the thing, because I don't think that'll work.
But steam's gonna kill me.
Well, okay, so you gotta basically wait for the steam and dodge. I think that's the challenge here. So you watch for the incoming projectiles. So basically, you spin around in a circle, and when you're ready, zoom out. But I think trying to be careful at this point is going to result in more deaths than just crazy running. The moment you get across, smash the menu key. So yeah, get one of those little guys to follow you. Or no, don't worry about it at this point, because there's more up ahead. So just get through the steam. Then he takes a pot shot, and that's all he's there for, is just taking pot shots. So now, yeah, do what we need to do with the little guys. Watch out. We got it? Okay. Now, I would say save.
No, I don't have it.
Yeah, heat resistance.
Oh, I combined it.
Okay, so save now.
Save.
Save.
I'm through, but I'm barely...
barely alive.
Do we have no more hyposprays?
No, I have exhausted my hyposprays.
I'm going to say once we get Picard, we might be done with this.
Yeah.
In that case, I might as well spoil some of the things about the end. As I was mentioning before the show, at the end, as in Star Trek Insurrection, the ending sequence involves a warp core ejection. Unlike Insurrection, we actually get to watch the warp core ejection.
We didn't actually get to see a warp core pop out of a ship until what, Voyager?
Not sure it was that. I think we had to wait all the way until Trek 09 to see it.
Very possible.
But,
we saw it from the outside in Voyager.
Yeah.
I thought there was one episode where you got to see it, actually pop out of the ship.
Okay, I think I know which one you're talking about. Renaissance Man, which was the last episode of Voyager before Endgame. Yeah, I think you saw that one. You see it from the outside. This one, you actually see it from the inside, from main engineering.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and also the very last cutscene. Once the game's over, the very last cutscene, Picard comes in and addresses Sovak as lieutenant, so he gets the promotion.
Oh, I forgot the power core. Follow me. I have food. At least you're not trying to kill me.
We can always keep improving him.
He's our friend.
Yeah, take your time, Picard.
Ingenious solution, Sobok. Now we must track down the Romulans who stole the seed. I have a talisman that I believe will return us to the surface. Picard to Commander Data.
Yes, Captain.
We're on our way to a portal that should return us to the surface. What is the situation in the colony?
Sona rebels using cloaking suits have captured the colony and imprisoned the colonists somewhere on the upper terrace. I have modified my tricorder to emit tachyon bursts, which inhibit nearby cloaking fields and should temporarily reveal cloaked Sona warriors.
Very good, Commander. That will give us a fighting chance against the sonar. Meet us at the excavation site. We will be there shortly. Picard out.
Aye, sir.
Ensign, let's head to the nearest portal. I've had quite enough archaeology for today.
Oh, though, we're coming right back down here. We're gonna make some new bugs.
Much longer a puzzle.
We're back in the colony. The transport worked.
Captain Picard, Ensign Sovak, it is fortunate that the two of you have returned safely.
Very good to see you too, Mr. Data. Now then, Starfleet must be made aware of what is happening here. Someone must take the shuttle to Outpost 40 and return with the Enterprise.
With all due respect, Captain, I would like to request permission to stay and help. I believe I would be a greater asset to you here.
Captain, perhaps it is best if I take the shuttle. I will be able to reach the outpost approximately 4.8 minutes faster than a human pilot. In addition, I have space combat experience with shuttlecraft, and the sonar are likely to have patrols in the Briar Patch.
Very well, Data. Take the shuttle. Ensign Sovak and I will stay here to search for the seed.
Yes, Captain.
Ensign, we will split up and each search different areas of the colony. I will go to the upper terraces while you search the lower main colony. There are many cloaked sonars, so modify your tricorder to emit tachyon bursts.
Aye, sir.
In order to save the colonists, we will need to neutralize the cloaking advantage of the sonar. There must be a power source for the cloaking suits, a hollow tower hidden in the colony. Find the hollow tower and disable it, and contact me should you discover any information regarding the seed's whereabouts.
Yes, Captain.
Hollow Tower. That kind of reminds me of something I put into Ghosts of War Part 2.
That's something you could use in a Foundry mission.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to keep going, or do we want to call this a good stopping point?
I think that's probably a good stopping point for the evening.
Yeah.
Seems like kind of a fun game. Maybe a bit awkward on the control schemes.
Yeah.
But and as we have been pointing out throughout the game, a nice art style as far as the backgrounds go.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely one of that good crop of 1999-2000 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the
those are one of the better ones.
Part of the Activision Gold Rush. Activision was putting out a bunch of Star
Trek games. The year before Elite Force.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had Star Trek Armada around the same time.
Yeah, Armada. Lots of good stuff. So, all right. Well, thanks, gentlemen, and thank you all for joining us in the chat room. We will hope that the Foundry comes back up by the time it is for our next show.
No,
but
there's
for
still
now,
plenty more.
Yeah, if not, we got plenty more classic games. Comes to it. I don't really have the upload speed for streaming, but I can always mail you my copy of Birth of the Federation.
Assumes that you trust me to mail it back.
Yeah. I've had my fun with it, So, and actually, at the moment, I don't have my CD drive hooked up. So, anyway, that'll do it for this evening. So we will say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.